Hi, it's Roger. We're bringing our buddy Jon Fisher back for another episode of the Engaged Club podcast. We all sat around his kitchen table, basically, having some conversations about the art of hospitality. In this episode, we get at that question about how to maximize the potential, how to get that staff member of yours to level up and start to deliver the kind of hospitality that you need at your club. And Jim gets to a question about, what do you do with those staff members that they're just not there, they're not buying in? Please enjoy this episode of the Engaged Club with our good friend, Jon Fisher.
It's time for the Engaged Club, the podcast for club managers and operators that strive to create loyal and connected members, guests, and customers. Here are the two guys with the club management and digital marketing advice you need to realize your club's potential. Jim Hope and Roger Kincaid.
Hey, Jon, it's wonderful to have you back on for the third episode of The World According to Jon Fisher. Thanks for joining us again.
Johnny, I wanted to ask you a question, kind of going back a few episodes now. You talked about how, you need to really bring your personality into your level of service. And that's when the art of hospitality really happens. I imagine you'll notice someone that you've just hired, you make a really good hire, but they're having a hard time, taking that risk, taking that leap to get into that, their potential to deliver tremendous hospitality. How do you encourage that? How do you take a moment with that staff member and get them where, they can be?
Okay, this whole subject of hospitality needs to be part of the hiring and part of the culture. And the reality is that hospitality sets the foundation or possibly the tone you wish to set for the club as it relates to people and relationships. And so when you're hiring, you have a series of questions you want to know. I mean, you talk about service and service being getting it done. Well, interviews can be the same. You can have an interview where you get it done by asking all the questions, and people's resumes aren't typically true. And what they say in an interview might not necessarily be true, but you have to add questions in that are, hey, what's the favorite costume you've dressed up for Halloween in? And that'll set off a conversation about, hey, I'd never dress for Halloween. Well, the fact is that at this club, you want to be somebody that could be groomed to dress up because, hey, you've got this harvest dinner planned. Why don't you get the people dressed up on the person at the host or the arrival person at your front desk, get them to dress up as a scarecrow. You know what I mean? And get them to receive people. And the other thing might be you ask, hey, if there's an empty dance floor, are you willing to take your girlfriend out there and be the first to dance to get these connections going, et cetera? So,
Jon, question for you. So if you've asked that question of someone, what's your favorite Halloween costume? And they say, well, I don't believe in Halloween. I don't dress up. That's not who I am. Can you change that person? Like if they've got a skill set and they've got a personality that you really like and you think, no, I want them in my club. You wish they had said that they dress up in an evening gown and, stand on the table and have a lot of fun. But you didn't get that answer. Can you convert them? Can you bring them around to the ways of Jon Fisher?
Yeah. The reality of clubs is that clubs are made up of the stories of each member, and each member joins to tell their story. And so the reality of staff is that it's the same. So you have these needs for service, and you've got your right brainers and left brainers, right brains, creative, a little out there like myself. And you've got your logical black and white left brainers that need to get the accounting done, and need to be accountable and et cetera. So the quicker answer would be in your interviewing, you need to be creating this staff that's going to deliver the whole product for your club. So there's a place for everybody.
Okay. In previous podcasts, you described the CSCM manager president of your club, your Kitchens of the Mind, which is, that you've elevated to a level that we could all wish we were at. What happens, and no different than you're elevating the hospitality experience at your club, whether it be for an event or on a day-to-day basis. And I'm a new manager and I've just started at my club and I haven't had a chance to hire my own people yet. I'm inheriting a team that's already in place who may not have the same vision and purpose and understanding of hospitality as I do. Any tips or suggestions for whether it be event-based, like a Kitchens of the Mind, and what you would do with that staff member that isn't going to buy into this, and or just your day-to-day hospitality experience you want to provide?
Like we touched on with that conservative staff member who might not be the one to go out on the dance floor if there's nobody there, or dress up for Halloween. Once you've introduced, you've given the blueprint for the first episode or the first event, people will gain momentum from that. They'll be stirred by that. They'll see members' eyes light up and the engagement of people, the connection of people, how happy people are. And I think that everybody that comes to a club, or 99% of staff that come to a club, are coming because they want to serve and make people happy. So they will all of a sudden buy in, and they will evolve.
And if you've got someone who just won't, a suggestion I would have, just ignore them. Like, just take them out of the process so they don't bring other people down, and just, make sure that you engage yourself with people that want to be part of it.
Yeah. I mean, for example, at one of my clubs, the Golf Pro called this event the shit show. Okay, so
and he wasn't far off, though, right?
Mean that in a bad way.
And I love the Golf Pro. Okay, yeah. But it just didn't fit golf to him. It did not honor the game. Okay, so it was new. This was Top Golf. I was doing Top Golf before Top Golf.
It's a great analogy, because you were. Yep.
The reality is that your team, the people are there to deliver the culture of the club, and you just have to make sure that there's enough of those people, and that the people that are going to get in the way, that they're busy with something else that day.
Thanks, Fish. This is incredible. The people listening to this, I know they're going to share it with their teams, because you live it every single day, and they can gain a lot at their club by living it as well. So thanks, Johnny, for bringing this to us.
And thanks so much for listening to this episode. Like Jim said, share this knowledge, this insight with those friends of yours in the club business, or even other members of your team who could benefit from hearing this episode. And if you liked what we're doing here, please give us a kind review and a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. That helps other people in positions like yours discover us. Get in touch with us anytime. hello@engagedclub.com. And until next time, thanks for listening.
This has been the Engaged Club podcast with Jim Hope and Roger Kincaid. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. If you like what you heard, share it with your fellow club managers and operators. Until next time, thanks for listening.